Hi everyone. Welcome back to Woo Can Cook. My name is Wesley, and this is a show where we are slowly cooking our way through all of the food from my childhood. Today we're diving back into our series dedicated to reproducing foods from Americanized Chinese cuisine with a shot at reproducing the elusive sweet and savory flavors of the Chic-Fil-A Sweet and Spicy Siracha sauce. For those new to the channel, in this series we have been deconstructing classic dishes from Americanized Chinese cuisine, including a now massive list of fried chicken recipes, then seeing what it might look like when reconstructed through the lens of more traditional wok cooking. As many of you may likely know, Chick-fil-A is well known not only for its classic American-style fried chicken offerings, but also for its wide range of dipping sauces that accompany their sandwiches, fries, and chicken tenders. Amongst these offerings is this sweet and spicy sriracha sauce, which, apart from the obvious inclusion of sriracha hot sauce, to my taste also very heavily leans on the use of sweet chili sauce to create its sweeter elements. It is also, however, in my opinion, so sweet that you can't even really taste the sriracha in this sauce. So I'm going to do my very best not only to reproduce this sauce to the best of my ability, but also try and bring out the actual sriracha qualities in it as well. Finally, to round this out, because why not, we're also going to do a quick American-style chicken tender so that we may compare and contrast these two sauces in context with some fried chicken, for science. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so diving right in, kicking things off here first with our chicken tenders, we're going with a super classic American-style fried chicken breading here since we are, after all, making Chick-fil-A. I'm starting off with some aromatic veggies to accompany our dry coating. This is 4 cloves of crushed and minced garlic to start, followed by 1 inch or about 1 tablespoon of fine minced ginger, all tossed into my largest mixing bowl. Then I'm combining this with a single cup of AP flour and a pinch of kosher salt, and whisking this all to combine. Those following this channel may likely know that I have my own opinions about using AP flour to batter fried chicken as opposed to a thinner and lighter starch like cornstarch or potato starch, but we'll get to that momentarily. Moving on to our chicken next, I'm going with some chicken breast here, not only because it's pretty clearly what Chick-fil-A is using in their chicken tenders, but also because the size and shape of the chicken breast is going to be more conducive to yielding these nice long strips of chicken, perfect for chicken strips. If we had done this with chicken thigh, it would be more fatty, but we would also not really have been able to slice these nice long thin strips of chicken. Finally, last up in a separate bowl, this is 2 eggs that I'm whisking up with a pinch of kosher salt, then setting this aside for a moment so that we may begin breading our chicken next. Okay, so we're breading our chicken in a classic American-style 3-stage breading, first coating it in our dry batter, then washing in our egg, and finally coating one more time in our dry batter for a second time. This is going to give us a nice cohesive breading to our chicken tender once it fries up. Now, for those following along, I personally would have opted for a tempura batter for this purpose, not only because it's going to be faster, but also because I think it will yield a more tender piece of chicken in the fry. But again, I'm opting for accuracy here because today isn't really about the fried chicken, it's about the sauce. Eyes on the prize, y'all. Speaking of which, moving on to our sweet and spicy sriracha sauce next, you may notice once we crack this sauce open that it even looks like sweet chili sauce, therein further confirming my suspicion here that we are on the right track. To my taste, this sauce is very sugar-forward, more like a glaze than a dipping sauce, making it actually pretty difficult to taste the sriracha that's buried in the mix here. So, for our own version, I'm starting off with 4 tablespoons of soy sauce and a single tablespoon of sesame oil to start, followed by our prerequisite 4 tablespoons or a 1/4 cup of sriracha sauce, also known at this current moment as the world's most expensive hot sauce. I'm not kidding, this was something like $2 of sriracha that we just used, y'all. Anyway, I'm rounding this out with a single tablespoon of rice vinegar to bring out some nice brightness in our sauce, followed as promised by what ended up being 4 tablespoons or a 1/4 cup of sweet chili sauce. Finally, I'm rounding this all out with 2 tablespoons of honey, then mixing this all to combine, and I honestly think that we're pretty dang close here already. I will say that the Chick-fil-A sauce is still significantly sweeter, so if you are going for accuracy, I would dial back the sriracha by about half and then add an extra 2 tablespoons or so of honey. For our purposes though, as it currently stands, I think we're actually left with a more balanced sweet and savory sauce that highlights the heat of the sriracha nicely. Over on the stove, we're circling back to our fried chicken here. I have my fryer at 350 degrees F, then I'm adding my chicken about 4 to 6 pieces at a time and frying for 3 to 5 minutes until golden brown, then removing to a dry rack and seasoning with kosher salt immediately while the chicken is still piping hot and receptive to dry seasoning. Next, I have a saucepan over medium-low heat, then I'm adding my sauce mixture in with about a 1/4 cup of water and letting this come up to a gentle simmer. Then I'm adding in a cornstarch slurry comprised of 2 tablespoons of cornstarch dissolved in water to help thicken our sauce up, then agitating constantly until a thick cohesive sauce forms, like so. Finally, we're removing this all from heat and we're ready to eat. Okay, so first off, I want to acknowledge that you may notice that our sauce turned a slightly lighter shade of orange while it was over heat, rather than the cherry red color of the original Chick-fil-A sauce. I have a few ideas as to why this may have happened. I don't think that food coloring was involved in the original sauce, but I do think that there are some anticoagulating agents and preservatives going on in the Chick-fil-A sauce that are maintaining this red color. Full disclosure, I refrigerated this leftover sauce from our version here, and it solidified into a pretty solid mass by the next day. In any case, despite the color though, I really do think that our sauce is pretty close to the original Chick-fil-A version, with the notable improvement that we have left out a significant amount of sugar to help the sauce round itself out a little more. While the original Chick-fil-A sauce is sweet with a hint of tang and chili coming from the sweet chili sauce, and basically no qualities of sriracha coming through at all, our version is light, bright, and complex in flavor. The heat and tang of the sriracha comes through nicely and complements the sweet chili sauce and honey without becoming completely overpowered. Then to pair with this, our chicken is definitely a classic piece of American fried chicken here, crispy, crunchy, and perfectly sized for dipping, though again, I do still think that a tempura battered chicken tender would have been more to my preference. Okay, so that's it everyone. I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you give this one a shot. For those who are new to the channel, this one is part of a larger series that we've been doing that's dedicated to reproducing classic Chinese American dishes, so definitely check out that series next if you haven't yet, because there's a lot of these. For the Bay Area locals, the Wu Can Cook Fried Rice pop-up is at the West Oakland Farmers Market in Oakland every Sunday morning, so come by and say hi if you can. More about that at wucancook.com/eats. As always, like, comment, subscribe, share, be nice YouTubers, and I'll see you soon.